are off. Welcome to the Deep in the Woods podcast, episode 20. We just finished up at Grizzly Oaks. Fun course, fun track, but man, was the rough thick.
How thick was it?
Super thick. Lots of lost discs, but overall, I thought morale was high, which was fun. There was a lot of birdies out there. It was cool to play a new course. I think most guys, this was new for everyone, and so it was, the excitement's always there for a new course.
I heard Mr. Nick lost his Mamba.
All right.
No,
The blue one.
Yes, the iconic blue Mamba. So
for real?
for real. So I mean,
Oh man.
I'm glad we touched on it because I thought it deserved
Yeah.
the attention on the podcast.
R.I.P.
So,
I don't think he's lost a Mamba since Ledgestone year one. So,
yeah. The
It was
great
time.
collapse of Ledgestone 2021.
yeah.
So I can truly appreciate the great collapse at Kennel Lake.
We'll touch on that.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah, you guys weren't there.
No.
So I'd love for you guys' insight on what happened.
Yeah, I was unable to make it.
Yeah, me neither.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Typically people respond with, okay.
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 Okay. So a few shout outs. We'll knock them out. Birdie Fun was not hit. It was kind of a tougher one with hole 2.
So explain to me what hole two. So mind you, this is at the University of Oakland,
Yep. Grizzly Oaks.
Grizzly Oaks. What does hole 2 look like?
So
Why is it so hard?
hole 1, I just want to touch on hole 1 because it's a phenomenal hole. You throw over the road and it's downhill and it's just a fun shot. But hole 2, you walk into the woods and you throw up a hill. There's like this weird strip of rough that runs through it. It's just you just got to have just a cannon for an arm to push up that high, and that far. And so there's really only a select few in our league who can even.
So it's a
have
distance
have a
thing.
putt. Yeah, it's
this
a distance
says
thing.
318 feet.
Doesn't play like it.
Okay. It's very, very steep hill.
Gravity plays a big role on that hole.
Interesting.
I see no bogeys on 2.
No, I mean it's not a very bogeyable hole because
Okay.
you're just throwing it to the hill and then you're. There was probably a lot of doing one of these drop ins. I bet you
Drop in
the
for
longest putt wasn't very long because that was where the long putt was, and so
Who won longest putt?
that's a good transition. I believe it was Zach Ellis and whoever his partner was.
Zach Ellis played with, dude. The fact that you forgot him,
Justin
You're
Monero, the
in
whole
trouble.
fighter,
you're in
fighter
trouble.
himself.
Yeah.
Wow.
He might get hurt after this.
Yeah. Well, I think we should say a prayer real quick for my life.
I mean, yeah.
I'm on the hit list.
All right.
Yeah, so they got longest putt. Hole 16 was a cool one. It was a downhill island hole. I got the CTP. So
Well, you're so good.
Wow.
I put it. Nicholas and Christian Christian put it out there. Nicholas took it from him, and then I put it super close, and that was all she wrote.
What happened on hole 10?
In my round,
No, it's 371 feet. There is one double bogey
yeah.
and 5 bogeys and 1 birdie.
So that hole, I think, could be argued to be the toughest hole on the course just because of the par. If it was a par
Okay.
4, I could see it being
More fair?
more fair. I'm really surprised Christian and Eli were able to get it 2. They had to have been a long putt.
Okay.
It was very much you're down a hill, hit a gap, and he threw a gap, and then, I mean, you would have to have a pump to even get close to the basket. So I would love to have been able to talk
Maybe
to him
they
and figure
cheated.
out.
Maybe it wasn't even really a 2. I mean,
That's highly likely, and maybe we let the comments do the work
Yeah.
after that. So,
put in the comments down below what you think actually happened, and then
or just tell us how
figure it
you
out.
think they cheated.
yeah, that's cool too. Foot fault, running putt.
Running putt.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's new.
So yeah, that happened. I took a double on it. I thought there would be more doubles. I'm kind of concerned that I was me and Greg were the only people to take a double. So
Yeah, so what happened?
that's frustrating. We kind of my drive kind of just the whole track. If you just simply just goes into the rough just a little bit, it's in the rough. Like you're doing one of these, pitching out.
So when you say rough, help me understand rough. Long grass or big bushes?
thorn
thicket.
bushes.
Okay.
Thick thorn bushes. And so I was in the thick. Greg puts it in the fairway every time. Greg put it in the fairway, but there's a lot of small trees on this hole, and he wasn't on the specific fairway line, so we had to get a little technical. We both hit trees early
So
on.
is it Grizzly Oaks because aren't the Oakland? Are they like
They're Grizzlies.
They're Grizzlies. Is it that, or is it because the course is just grizzly thick?
I see what you did.
You see what I
That
did
was
there?
good. Yeah.
Which one do you think it is?
That was witty.
You gotta believe it's a mixture of both.
Okay, combo meal. I like it.
So
Yeah.
when we go and host a tournament there,
Ooh.
we got to go out with some trimmers. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, we gotta coordinate with the landscaping staff there
Okay.
and really just motivate them to get going.
That's
you know
what
what
it
I'm
is.
saying?
I got you.
And maybe
So it could be made more fair.
or simply, there's a lot of birdie opportunities out there. And if I was playing singles, I'd probably play a little safer on some of the holes and just
Absolutely.
mid, and
That's why
be
you
fine
play
with it.
doubles. That's why you play
but
doubles.
doubles you get a little more aggressive. You're going to be
100%.
looking a little more. So maybe I play it differently. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, Caleb Carter, Nicholas Donalchek, and then Steven and Buff Nate, Drew Pensko led the pack at neg 6. They actually went into a playoff.
Ooh,
Playoffs?
Playoffs, baby.
talking playoffs.
So they obviously tied, and we played hole 1. Hole 1's that downhill over the road.
Sure.
And because of daylight and because of the road had decent traffic to it, so you'd have to wait for an opening. I said it's total score. So you play as individuals, and it's total score for your team. And we'll play hole 1 and 2 on a loop. And unfortunately, on hole 1, Caleb, well, I don't know how it went. I was doing other things.
Sure.
I think Steven parked it.
Okay.
Nicholas went long. And then Drew kind of hyzered to the left. Caleb drifted his across the road, which we did not distinct OB, but I think it was kind of a gray area. But Steven and Buff Nate ended up taking it. So that was cool to see. Yeah.
Very good.
So I think, there was a lot of birdie opportunities there, but like I said, there was a lot of bogey opportunities there. So.
That shows, yeah.
Yep.
But it's a good course for us potentially to continue in the rotation.
There was conversation about that. There was mixed.
Did people like it?
There was mixed
Mixed emotions. Huh?
emotions on the course.
Okay.
I think if you're hitting fairways, you liked it. If you're not, you did not like it.
Sure.
Simply put.
Okay. That's
yeah.
good to know.
I think and also you had to have a spotter in every hole, and I'm not exaggerating. Every hole you had to have had a spotter. There was no holes off. You didn't have a hole where you could not spot. So that was, a wee bit frustrating.
Interesting.
So,
Got it.
let's see.
Okay.
I think we touched on everything. What do you guys think? Anything stand out for you guys when it comes to the leaderboard for tonight?
No, I think it looks good.
I think it looks good.
I mean,
Alright.
yeah.
Cool. Next, we will touch on we just finished up week 10. End of the season. That's it.
That's it.
Summer season. That's a wrap.
It's official.
It's official.
So am I the back-to-back champ?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it went that way.
Okay.
But we had a lot of storylines. I think early on we saw Rick kind of take charge and led the pack for a little bit.
I think he was one of the favorite partners. Like everyone was hoping for Rick.
Yeah, he's a dark horse partner.
Yeah, he was
for sure. I thought the season kind of went, kind of had a lot of people in the mix for a long time, and so I thought it was an overall good season when it came to contention. But Hawks, why don't you tell us what?
Sure. Let me hit
happened
you
there?
with some details.
Details.
So we officially have a new champion, and by new champion meaning this individual does not have his or her or their, whatever they choose.
Maybe you zoom in on it or something.
Oh, there you go. I don't know if we could do that.
Yeah.
Just
If-
pretend.
Low budget.
Yeah.
Low
you should
budget.
Zoom in. So right now we have Tony Lewis, Aaron Nitz, David Watkins, Aaron Nitz, and Ian Kumpola.
Yes.
Yeah.
Springtime, we'll
Ian
say
Sean's about to-
CN Clancy
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
represent. It's sort of like the green jacket in the Masters for those of you who do ball golf. Not real golf,
Yeah.
but ball golf, fake golf, if you will.
It's real.
And we'll have a new champion. Played well early on. Actually, was more consistent in the middle. If I
Yeah.
look at it.
If I'm looking at his points, he kind of struggled week 1, but ultimately it was week 2 that kind of propelled him and
Yeah.
solidified that win. What do you guys think?
When you're scoring 20 points, when everybody shows up,
Everyone shows up, you come to play. He takes it down.
He
That was a
was-
huge night for him.
He took the year nice and steady, you know, always just consistent, just like his actual game, just very consistent down the middle, you know, taking his time, hitting putts.
Yeah,
managed to find his green thrasher at River Bends a day after.
that man's takes a lot of time in the tee pad. I tell you what.
That dude has a lot of time. I'll show
A
you.
lot of warnings.
I'll show you. Wow.
He managed to string together a few good, solid scores, but I thought another big storyline were the bonus points.
14 and a half compared to second place at 9.
And that doesn't count
Doesn't
today's.
count in case that individual
CTP.
happened to hit a CTP that we talked about earlier for an extra point.
Wait, what was the total points for the year then?
That's a good question. So you won with
Was
how
it
many?
100 though? That's all I want to know.
Triple digits?
I was disappointed. That guy did not.
Was that what happened?
That
And
guy
I'm
did
cool.
not get the 100-point club.
So that guy officially,
that's me.
Mr. Nate,
Mr. Nate,
here's the applause.
Crowd goes wild.
Nate. Wow.
put it in there.
And he will end with 81.75 because he will earn 1 extra bonus point. Well, I guess the points when you watch this will be updated, and he'll have 81.75 points, which is obviously second place, sitting Aaron Nitz at 73 because Aaron and Ian did not show up. And fourth place, Andrew Rosalino had a
Not his night.
difficult evening.
Yep. So
So anyway,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I never
Way to go.
I never thought I could win it, but
Way to beat a champ.
you too can win.
Oh, man.
this
And
season
so
if you
were
like it.
you A the entire year? Did you make it into the B at all this season?
I feel like I was up and down. So I think if you look, I would love to look back at my partners.
So you had Tim
So,
Stocker.
so I'm only the
Tim
purebred.
Stockard when
You're
I got
only
that
purebred
20
B.
point.
Okay.
I think I was
You're
A
kind of
that week.
halvesy. Okay.
Yeah, I was up and down.
Hard to say.
Hard to say.
Well, I will just say congrats. I'm happy to share a plaque with you for the
Yeah, our names.
for the spring summer season.
Yep.
You earned it. Make sure you take care of it.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know where I'm gonna put it.
I washed it
Did you?
before we got here.
looks like you put a fresh layer of lacquer on there too.
Yeah, and whenever I drove with it, which was actually quite often, I strapped it up in a car seat.
I think
And you recently got in a car accident, so you might need to get a kid's car seat, buckle it up.
yeah, I might strap it to the top.
Well,
yeah,
okay,
okay.
that's an option. I don't know if it's waterproof. We'll have to ask Mr. Tony Lewis about that one.
Yeah.
It is made of wood, though.
Yeah, I think it would do great up there.
Okay. Well,
And then I think I don't know. I'm speaking for myself, but I think this would be a good time to segue you saying goodbye to the trophy. Do you think this is a good time to kind of throw that in there, Hawks? What do you think?
play it.
Yeah.
A farewell, if
Yeah.
you will.
It's, yeah, we'll, yeah.
Yeah, pump that in right here.
Yeah, absolutely. You
Right
guys
here.
will
We'll do
love
it
it.
live. know I didn't treat you right the last 10 weeks this past season, but I need you to know I'll be back next spring. I'm gonna miss you, but listen, it'll be okay. You're going to a good guy. But don't worry, I'll be back next spring. All right? Before you know, it'll be back. All right? I'm sorry. I didn't do what I was supposed to do this year, this season, but I'll be back. Don't you worry. All right? I love you.
Welcome back. That was touching. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, I mean that's the right way to. That's the right
Yeah.
way to
Close it out.
truly send off an era.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a good 10 weeks. You know, it was sitting in my office above my gaming console.
It's a good spot.
And whenever I was destroying in Call of Duty, I'd look up and just reminisce on those 10 weeks where I beat Aaron mostly. I don't
Yeah,
really
that's
know
fair.
who else was there, but
Cool.
Do you believe your downfall or demise was because you played too much Call of Duty and didn't practice?
no, I just didn't care as much. I already won. It's kind of that, you know, sophomore slump.
Sophomore slump.
You know, I mean, did I make the power rankings at all? I think I have a lot of records.
I'll give you 1 or 2 weeks, maybe.
I think
not at
that I'm in the 100-point club, which I'm proud of.
Yeah. I mean,
Number 2, followed up with never being on the power rankings is very difficult to do. You know, that was very, you know, I'm proud of that.
Well, we got a lot of ballers in our league. You know,
Yeah,
it's a tougher thing to do nowadays.
we're gonna have to talk to the plaque maker to make sure that it's shown 100-point club Clancy.
Yeah.
100-point club. I mean, will we ever see that again?
I mean, next
think
season
we
I
will.
plan on it. But
Yeah. Okay. I see what you did.
I mean, it's obvious you're missing from that list, right?
Oh,
Alex?
yeah.
I don't see your name.
Yeah.
It's
listen,
weird.
I'll talk about Kennel Lake.
Oh.
Oh shit.
We'll talk about it.
All right, that's probably. I mean, it's a decent segue, right?
It hurts.
Segue to what happened this past half week.
Yeah.
We've been there for a long time. We'll talk a little bit about Ledgestone. So I know us three went there. We played there. You guys want to tell us a little bit how your gameplay went?
Sure,
The
I'll
highlights.
jump.
I want to start. I want to hear
You
about
wanna
this
start?
kind of. No, I want you to start.
Okay, yeah. So there were 8 of us, all from the league, who went down to Ledgestone, which is arguably the best amateur event hosted in the U.S. Upwards of 2,200 people, all different divisions. Definitely an A tier. Obviously, there is a Pro Tour event that happens, half at Lake Eureka Temp course and half at what they call Northwood Blacks, arguably one of the hardest courses on tour. But really what for us it is, we go early. By early, we go on a Wednesday. Historically, we play a couple of flex one-round events, typically courses that we are going to play in the main event. Then we play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 1 round each for the actual tournament, which is a 3-round tournament. Nate and I played AM2. Sean played AM3. Will was there. Aaron Nitz was there. Tony Lewis.
Benny,
Mr.
Nick,
Benny, Mr. Nick,
Samataro.
Taro, yeah. So 8 of us went down there, had a good time, got a couple hotel rooms, just hung out. It's just a good time to play disc golf. Oftentimes I refer to it as our Super Bowl
Yeah,
or
and I
my
think,
Super Bowl.
and I'm going to speak for myself. I thought the flex starts were the highlights.
It was
You get to
fun.
play with your buddies.
Aside from the other highlight, like the non-disc golf highlights, I guess non-playing highlights. That was kind of the highlight
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Just playing with your buddies, playing kennel with you guys, and playing Eureka.
Yeah, there's good. They're difficult courses.
Yep.
They're fun, but yeah, it's a time to hang out and play the frisbee. So
How do you do, Hawks? Tell us a little about your actual tournament.
before that, I want to point out Mr. Nicholas Chernotero
Yeah.
got himself his first official W
Yep.
by winning a flex tier event, and he won at Eureka Permanent Course.
That's right.
He finally opened the floodgates, and we all expected him to do awesome, and then he came back to reality shortly thereafter.
Yeah. I feel this weird urge. If Nick was sitting here, right, what would he respond with? And I feel like he would respond with, I tied for first.
Oh,
Oh, that's true.
And so
That's
I feel
true.
like
you would say if I would have hit those other putts, I
You're
would have had my
You're right.
solo first.
solo first.
It's a dub.
It's
okay?
a dub.
It's one
So
may
I just want to clear that up.
that's fair, and one may look at it and say, yeah, well that's like Tim East when he wins a division of one. It's still a win.
Yeah,
A win is a
it's
win.
still up there.
I'm just saying. So that was a big highlight. So I did okay in the flex starts. I think I got fourth in the first one, won like $83 or something, and then didn't cash in the second one. That was kind of telling because my first round was at Kennel Lake, which I've gone 3 years to Ledgestone
Mm-hmm.
and have shot in the tournament under par both rounds. Very difficult course. However, my experience this time was different as I was rolling into hole 17 and I attempted to throw over the water twice and didn't either time.
So you landed in the water.
In the water.
So
Did you
I-
go into the water?
I was not allowed to. I was
Okay.
going to be banned from the
Banned
tournament
for
by going
life.
to by going in the water. So I didn't. I threw one grace into the water. So I grabbed my second grace and promptly threw it into the water.
Okay.
Yep.
So then I went around the water and grabbed an 8 on that hole for a par 4. So it's +4 in one hole.
And you already weren't really playing to your potential at
Yeah, I
that
was
point.
sitting at +5.
And so it was kind of a, it was kind of punching you while you were down,
Yeah, a
if
little
you
bit.
will.
And a little context, and correct me if you feel differently.
Hit me.
They made 16 and 17 easier.
Much easier by taking
So,
down a bunch of trees.
Yeah. So
Yep.
just for it's hard
Mm-hmm.
to visualize at Kennel Lake,
Which makes it that much more astounding that he
Yes.
didn't do.
Well, it's a 300-foot carry over the water, which
and there
I
used
have.
to be along the water. It's a hyzer
Trees.
over the water. It used to be just trees. So you did have to kind of hit a gap. Now it's just open.
Yeah.
Hit a hyzer over water. You're good.
It wasn't
hate
even
to
windy.
kick you while you're
No, it wasn't even windy. There is no reason for me to throw in the water, not once but twice, and use two of my only two driving
Yeah.
graces. I now no longer
So,
have them.
To sum it up, you did not play well on that hole.
No, I shot 10 over par for a solid 840 round. So if you look on my stats page, that is my worst rated round of my career.
And your history on hole 18 was pretty good.
I have great history on hole 18.
And so I just want to, just paint the picture, right?
Yeah.
In our pool, in the AM2 pools, they distinguished between your high-rated guys and your low-rated guys, and you managed. Now, you were the last card on the high-rated
Yes.
guys, so you were teed off at 7:30 in the morning the next morning.
Yes.
Now, what does that mean, right?
And the weather was at least better in the morning on Saturday.
What does that mean, right? So, actually,
So what that means is I was ranked 347th out of the 355 players that were there
yeah. Now, what was
after round one.
Well, now the funny thing, the thing that we laughed about, right, is that Hawks went out at 7:30 in the morning, and we all laid in bed, watched our phones as we watched outside too, as we watched sideways rain,
Yeah.
wind,
Yeah.
the worst conditions
Oh, it's
you
terrible.
could see come flying past, and
Terrible.
it was kind of funny the scenes where we were just sitting in front of the window. We're like, man,
That
it
stinks.
would suck to be Hawks right now. and so
Fair.
just give it context. Now,
Yeah.
go into your second round.
So my second round, fortunately, I had a friend, which we didn't mention. Yeah, we didn't mention him, Tony Lewis. He was also there with us.
True friend.
True friend. He played very well the first round, and so he was teeing off at like 130, 140. So he's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll go with you." I was like, "Bro, you sure?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." Okay, cool, thank you. So he was out there braving the elements because it truly was, mind you, it was warm-ish, 70s. It was nonstop rain my entire round. Everything was wet. Like the guys, my card mates were miserable.
Yeah.
We get there, it's like we're driving there, my wipers were on full speed. Not just consistent on, just full speed, right? Because I couldn't see. So that's what it was like. So we get there, the starters aren't even out there.
No time to warm up.
Well, I mean, we got there at, my tee time was 7:30. We got there about 7:10. We sat in the car for about 10, 15 minutes, got out, got our towels, got the bag, walked up and stood under the small little canopy where everyone else was, where the starter, no one's the volunteers aren't even there because they're like, yeah, this is dumb. So 7:30 rolls around, they roll out and say, yeah, we're waiting for lightning in the area. Okay, well, fine. In that 10-minute time between 7:30 and 7:40 when we did tee off, I threw about 12 putts. The other guys walked out. One guy had an umbrella, and it was the little miniature umbrella. I had a large umbrella that Tony sported carrying my bag, and I had 4 towels. So that, rotate the towels. I had a waterproof just to make
Shell.
sure. Yeah, you're going to be wet. Everything was wet. There's no way around becoming soaked. Do everything you can to make sure your fingers don't, the pruning.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get the pruning, all kinds of grip is gone. That was my goal. This hand right here stayed dry.
Mm-hmm.
And so we played and we trudged on. I went bogey, and then fought my way back. And all in all, I birdied my last 3 holes with a different bogey in there and ended at even par, which at the time was rated 996. Now, the reason why that's significant is the rain stopped at about 11:30.
11. Well, I teed off at 11:40, and I had 9 holes.
Oh, so maybe
Of
even
rain.
later to 1, maybe.
Yeah. So it kept on getting pushed back. So you're right in the fact that it was supposed to stop at 11.
Right.
But it just
Yeah, it
Get-
pushed.
kept on putting. But yeah, you're right. So a lot of cards had no rain.
Correct. Which made my rating drop. Which, again, I played well. I missed 2 putts that I feel like I should have made. I made 1 putt that outside of the circle is a 50-50. So all in all, I would say I lost a stroke out there, all things said and done. But all in all, played. The round ended up being 964 or something like that, which was a good round.
Yeah.
But akin to those of you who went to our Zambia in April, Zambia tournament, if you're David and whomever else he got to tee off with at 8 a.m, beautiful weather.
Yeah.
Everybody else.
Good luck.
And so that's just the nature of it. Play better, right? Go ahead and play better, then you don't have to worry
And
about it.
now you're still not. You moved up quite a bit after this round, but
Sure.
you're on the bubble.
Yeah,
Right.
I was 170 and change after that round because, so again, I shot even par. The guys on my card, plus 13, plus 13, plus 12, right? They were miserable.
And that's that. You played second round in Northwood?
Northwood Blues.
Yeah.
They were not having a good time.
Probably DNF'd that first set.
There were a number of people that showed up unprepared for the elements.
Yes.
Yep.
It's better to be prepared. Over prepare.
So Sunday,
So yeah, so Saturday I shot even. Then Sunday I finally got my head on straight. Still missed a couple shots, just like you can always review your rounds, no matter when you play. Say, oh man, I should have made that. Missed a couple shots, made a couple shots. I shot 5 under, and which is another 960 and change rated round, which propelled me up to 72, I think is what it was. So coming from a
340 something.
down to 72. So the last 2 rounds were very good from my perspective.
So what was your final placing out of
It was
360?
72.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty
So yeah, it was a good time.
good.
Frustrating.
It's a good comeback story. It's a good
So
comeback story.
yeah, that's kind of the comeback story that we all wanted because we were all kind of trying to console you after that first round, and it turned into a great storyline, right?
Right. I mean,
So-
anytime you travel 6.5 hours to shoot your worst rated round in your career, it's a tough one mentally.
So I'll tell you a little bit my round. It's kind of
What you got?
I just played. So first round, I played okay. I played good golf, enough to stay in the mix, right?
And you were in a different pool? Same pool.
Same
sorry.
pools,
Okay.
Hawks.
So what'd you shoot your first round? Do you remember?
I want to say +2, +1,
okay.
even somewhere. I shot that every round.
Yeah, you're
So-
very consistent, but it's way better than +10.
Yeah.
Just to give a perspective, we're on the exact same course, very similar conditions.
After that, after Kennel, we proceeded to Northwood Blue. Like I mentioned
Half in the
before,
rain.
half rain. I shot okay, not my best. Like there's always stuff you can think of that
Sure,
you missed.
sure.
Whatever. I think I shot even.
Okay.
Next round, Eureka Perm. I probably missed some shots out there, but I threw well. took bogeys, whatever. Way she goes. But I think the storyline was, basis of the story is that we managed to tie, right? And
So, am I really good or are you
if you
really
would have
bad?
asked me after the first round, if you would have told me that we were going to tie, I would have laughed in your face because there was no way that you would have shot out of your mind for 2 rounds, and I would have just played golf and you would have called me, right? I didn't foresee that happening, so that was kind of a little demoralizing
Apologize.
to have to come to terms with.
Yeah. But you got a cool trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You got that.
I got this thing.
You got that.
All right.
Sean, tell us a little bit about your
So kind of the same thing. I was an AM3. I love the flexes, but let me just start by saying it was day 2.
Mm-hmm.
What did we play day 2? Kennel?
Oh, you sure of the flexes?
Yeah, the flexes.
We played.
Kennel in the morning.
I think
Correct.
Kennel is my favorite course, and now it will always be my favorite course because it's Thursday. Mind you, the pros start on Thursday at Eureka Perm. And for those of you who don't know, I'm a big fan of Mr. Zach Melton. And
I've heard of that guy.
for you guys who don't know, he's probably one of the best players in the world. And one of the oldest players playing. I don't know.
We'll go with that.
But he's
Best
good. He's
lefties
from
in the world.
Tennessee.
Easy.
Benny likes him just because he's from Tennessee. And
I'm pretty-
months ago,
Benny knows everybody
he
in
does.
Tennessee.
It's a very small state.
Yeah. Okay.
So months ago, I DM'd him on Instagram. I'm like, listen, if you need me to carry your bag while you carry the jabronis on your card at Leadstone or D-Glow, let me know because I'm going to be there. You know, he responded. Most people didn't think he would respond, but he's a good dude, so he did. And then fast forward probably a week or so before Leadstone, I'm like, hey, man, I've been practicing, you know, making my back strong, you know, learning about all the dynamic discs, you know, all that. I said, if you need me, let me know. And he was like, you know, I got my buddy, you know, caddying for me.
Fair. It's a fair
And
point.
I'm like, no worries, man. Good luck out there. Just glad you're back. He was back from an injury. So we're playing Kennel.
We were praying about his injury.
Oh, of course we
Yeah,
were.
thank you.
We needed that meniscus to get strong, baby. And then it's probably about hole 10 or 11. We're going from one basket to the other. I look at my phone. I get this message from Zach Melton, and he's like, yo, you still want a caddy? I look at Mr. Nick, and I'm like, dude. I show it to Nick. He's like, no. I'm like, just tell me when I got to be there. And so sure enough, I mean, I did fine at the flexes. I don't really care at this point. I show up at Eureka Temp, like 12:45 for his 12:50 tee time.
Perfect timing.
Who's on his card? Mr. Matty O. Oram. And it was awesome. I got to caddy for Zach Melton. Sweet dude. You know,
We walked with you and we documented a lot of it.
they, you know, and we talked a lot. We talked a lot about football for Lions fans out there. We drafted Mr. Hendon Hooker, who was a former Tennessee Vol. So we talked about him. Matty O is Matty O, man. It was a lot of good conversation. He played okay. I think he shot +1. Matty O shot 6 down. And then there was a 19-year-old in the car who just threw for miles. Not always in bounds, but I would take that drive any day. And then another guy I didn't know. But ultimately, it was great. I saw him a couple times. So when you go to Leadstone, 2 of the days there's a fly mart where you got all these vendors and just a whole bunch of people selling stuff, as well as Leadstone, the shop. And he was there, so I got to talk to him a little bit more about it. You know, just about different things, and got a couple of his discs to support him. So great dude, great time. Friday, so I played 3 courses. Friday, I showed up at Bradley. So Bradley, for the AM3 people, is probably one of the easier courses, and I wanted some redemption.
Sure.
Because last year I actually just looked. I think I shot +3 or +4. And Bradley is kind of like a full course of like maybe Wagner. That's how Bradley kind of is, with like a little, kind of like a river running through, but it's always dry unless you're Mr. Nick and played when it was raining. And going into hole 18, I'm 4 down. So I'm already 7 strokes better than last year. And so hole 18 is about maybe like 360, but the backside of the green is just a downhill slope with an OB road.
Ooh.
And so I'm about 50, 60 feet away, and I'm just like, Nick's caddying for me. I'm just going to, throw my flex zone over there. Proceeded to throw it about 100 feet. And I just run up there and look, and it's just rolling OB. And I'm like, okay, I just took a double because it's like a 50-foot uphill putt. I know I wasn't going to hit it. So I took a double, finished 2 down. Wasn't too mad though. I had 1 bogey, 1 double. It's one of those things like, what are you going to do?
Away she goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Next one, Saturday, I got lucky. I got to play at 1:30. No
good.
rain for me on Saturday.
That's good.
And I didn't play too well. The element, it was really windy though. So I shot a +5. Last year I shot +4. It was rated pretty well. I think it was rated like 890. But then Sunday came around. I was, before Sunday, I was sitting at about 90th place out of 540. So my goal was, top 100. That was my goal. I wanted to get top 100. And so I'm like, all right, I just got to, play good. And for those who don't know, Megiddo is tough. Megiddo, I would say, is probably one of the toughest courses that anyone plays. That's what I feel. It's all woods. There is one hole that is not in the woods, and you're throwing into the woods. So it's not even, it's a tough course. Last year I shot like +7, +8, and it wasn't a bad round, but I squeezed out an even. And it was officially my highest rated round. I think it finished at 948.
Wow.
So it was my highest rated. So I finished at tied for 27th out of 540. So I was pretty stoked.
How much cash did you get?
$203. $203. Plus I won some money in the flexes. So I came out, with all the goodies you get from Ledgestone, as well as I think it was like $320 altogether.
Wow.
That I can spend at Nate Heinhold's different events. So
Like D-Glow,
Worlds, if I want to go there, I'm not going there. Yeah, so it was awesome.
Cool.
So,
And then another really cool venture happened at D-Glow. I mean, at Ledgestone. We had the opportunity, and we kind of set this up, and I'll go into kind of the timeline of what actually happened. We wanted to do a different kind of podcast. So we got the Deep in the Woods here. We're kind of, venturing into a new podcast, which is the Deeper in the Woods podcast. And we were thinking, who we're going to have. And we have this strong connection with Eagles Wings. And so we're kind of connecting with them. They suggest Cole Redolin. Now, if you live under a rock and you didn't see that Cole Redolin took down the event, which is huge. Spoilers.
yeah.
And so we set up the Cole Redolin podcast far in advance to the actual event.
Right.
And so it was kind of hectic there for a second.
Yeah.
Because we had to kind of work around his schedule. The kind of vision initially was, let's do this Saturday night. But then he was playing really well. He finished late. It made more sense to push it to the next night. And he ended up taking it down. So what does that mean? That means he's got all these festivities. He's got bask in the moment.
Absolutely.
Why would he, take time for us? You know what I'm saying? He just took down Ledgestone, an Elite Plus event.
Yeah.
And so
Real big deal.
he went and did his thing. We went back and we eventually, got a hold of him, and he said, let's do it. And so he gave us his location for his RV. And so we went to his RV, set up the podcast, and we did an interview with him. And so kind of the premise of this new podcast is more of a spiritual-based podcast where we kind of touch on professionals, players, or whoever,
Sure.
their spiritual journey and whatnot. And so we had a cool opportunity, and Sean was one of the hosts to interview Cole Redolin and his RV. And so by the time this is out, that will be out.
Yes.
Which
That's the
is super
intention.
exciting.
So the crazy thing is we're sitting here talking to an 18-year-old. And first of all, what other sport like this can
Can people like us?
People like us talk to the champion of one of the biggest tournaments of the year? I would say probably outside of a major, that's definitely top 3 tournament, probably easily, from whether it's payout, prestige, being an Elite Plus. And here, this kid's 18 years old. He's been on tour 3 times, having a crazy year, good year. We did all this research, about him leading into Ledgestone, and then here he ends up winning. and just listening to his maturity as an 18-year-old. Aaron, obviously having an 18, having, older kids than me, but having an 18-year-old, watch the podcast and just see how he talks. It's amazing. He's living on his own at 18 in an RV. And here we are running into him, in his RV. It's funny, kitty corner from where he is, you have Nico. We actually talked to him for a little bit, Nico LaCastro. That was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
He's a pretty cool dude. But it was just, it was awesome, a great opportunity, and definitely look for more of that.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously, like I said, it'll be out by now. And so by the time this drops, so super exciting. Look forward to more of that. We're hoping to line up some more
We got D-Glow coming up.
interviews at D-Glow and
Mhm.
whatnot, and so that'll be fun. Next up,
Mm-hmm.
power rankings.
Let's do some power rankings.
The
knock
last
it down.
ones
The
of
last
the
one
year.
The official
I'm
last
hoping to
ones.
make it on the list, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. By showing up this week, you were able.
And last week we didn't do a podcast, and so we weren't able
Yeah.
to do a power rankings.
So I have the power rankings here from last week, which not overly relevant, but it is kind of relevant to how this week panned out. And I'll touch on that as we go through. I don't have any questions prepared as you guys aren't aware of last week's power ranking, so it doesn't really make sense. So I'm just going to run through 1 through 20 or 20 down through 1, and this is official.
Let's do it.
Official power rankings.
Of the year.
Here we go. Number 20. Unfortunately, was not able to show up this evening. Mr. Wade. We'll just leave it to Mr. Wade. Can't really say his last name. So he was down 2 from last week. He was at 18. He is at 20 official end of the season.
All right.
Number 19, brand new on the scene because he finally started to show up. Mr. Garrett.
Oh, Mr.
Yeah.
Landry.
Yeah, he was
Garrett Landry.
Thanks for showing up.
yeah, doing his own little thing. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, no one knows.
He took a sabbatical.
Yeah, he took 5. Yeah, I took 5. All right. Number 18, up 2 from last week, is Derek Vansel.
Okay.
Black Ace
He's
Vansel.
starting to, man, he needs a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
He'll be up top.
Yeah. You give him,
Big guy.
a couple more weeks, he's number one for sure.
Easy, without even
Ran
thinking
out of
twice.
time.
Down 1, but still in the hunt, was Chris Hill.
Okay.
So he ended up at 17. Number 16 was Steven Ciara Martero, moving up a couple spots from last week.
Good guy.
Good to see Steve move.
Best in the comment section too. Let me just
he,
say,
Yeah.
he really
very
excels.
original and creative.
That's true.
Yeah. Thank you. Smash that like button.
Nice job, Steve. Up 2 as well, Mr. Justin Trenda, up to the 15th spot.
Reasonable.
Wait a second. 20, 19, 17, 16, 15. Yeah. 14th spot, Andrew Rumps, up 1. And 13th spot, Nolan, down 4.
the old trash
Where did
talker
he
himself.
finish this week?
That's a good question. We
He
should have a
was-
Nolan
I
tracker.
thought I saw him at the bottom, but I didn't want to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I play with Nolan today.
Yeah.
Him and Chris
They had a tough
just
go at
weren't
it.
clicking.
Okay.
They had a tough go.
They
Hate
both
to
have good
see
drives and they both have bad drives. Basically what happened.
That's the worst part of
Yeah.
doubles.
Yeah.
It's best, obviously, when you mix and match,
Yep.
I play bad, you play good, and then we flip it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 11 did not quite crack the top 10, even though his last 2 weeks were way better. Mr. Michael Thomas.
Oh, lefty.
He had a slump there for about 3-4 weeks that he was just.
We also
That's the down.
saw Mike not make it to his first league night
Ugh.
in a long time, and so that kind of hurt him a little bit.
That was weird.
That was a tough loss
Yeah.
for him
But-
and us.
But up to number 11.
Rebounding well.
Fair.
That's right. Or is it number 12? Whatever's number 12. Number 11, Mr. Benny.
Benny McDaniel. It's good to see him on the list.
He was 8 last week.
Yep.
Obviously,
Didn't show.
dropped a few.
Yep.
That's fair.
Couldn't. He had a pressing appointment with hanging out with his family for
Classic
being gone a
Benny.
week.
See where his priorities are.
Yep.
He's killing me. All right, here we go. We are officially in the top 10 for this season's power rankings. Number 10, up 3, Mr. Buff Nate.
Fair.
So Drew Pensko.
Mm-hmm.
Always consistent, always showing up, and apparently losing more Frisbees.
It's real.
It's
Yeah.
a tough one.
It's tough.
It's a tough one. Up one from last week to number 9, Eli.
Okay.
Yeah.
Elijah, whatever,
Is he looking fresh today?
The man
Always.
always pushes the ceiling.
See?
Like he's always taking it to another level.
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
I'm
He's
assuming
looking good.
Jeremy was the same.
Jeremy was there today. It was good to
Yeah,
see
he-
Jeremy.
yeah.
We haven't
He's-
seen Jeremy in a while. He's
It's
had other
vacant.
things going on, so
Mhm.
it's good to see him out there and dressed good well
Dressed
as well.
to the nines.
So,
That's what I'm liking to hear. All right, up to number 8, Christian Dolnacek.
mm.
I said it correctly.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
Yeah, he got the lone birdie on 10, so
Phew.
that probably helped him out a little bit.
He works out.
Yep.
Down one, even though he showed up today, Mr. Nicholas Cimitero.
Yeah, man.
What happened to him?
After being on a golf trip for 5 or 6 days, and then he shows up to league. Man, that guy is brave.
He's
a brave man.
His priorities are correct.
Yeah.
Well done, Mr. Nick. All right, number 6, down one, the legendary, the High C,
Mm.
High C himself,
High C juice box.
Mr. Rick Trenda. Man,
Oh, boy.
he had a run early on.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Man, I mean, congrats, but man,
You know, it could have been a storybook ending for Rick, but next season, I feel it coming.
Would you keep moving him to like the B tier so he could stop getting hooked up with bees? Is that what you did? Stack the deck?
I blame Nitz.
Yeah.
All right, top 5 did not show up today. And based on the performance of the others, he has dropped 3. Mr. Aaron Nitz
It had to happen.
comes in at number 5. Didn't perform as well. He won one week, but then missed a couple in there. This volleyball thing.
I don't believe it.
He knows what's going to happen.
Yep.
He's got to get a huge lead because every year he decides to do this, again, volleyball thing that no one really knows about.
Volleyball.
Yeah, I don't really know. All right. Number 4. Didn't show up, but did well. Mr. Ian.
Ian Campillo.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
And that leaves us with our top 3.
Top
Podiums,
3.
The podium finishers.
So
This is exciting.
without looking at my paper, who's top 3?
Sean
Okay.
Clancy.
Yep.
Um,
It's a good guess. It's incorrect.
I'll just stop here.
All right.
So, Roz.
Okay.
Right. I didn't hear Nicholas's name, and I think he's played well enough to be in there.
Okay.
Nicholas D.
Oh, Dolnacek. I told
Yeah.
And
Nicholas
then
Char Martero.
Myself.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, that's just my guess.
'Kay.
Right?
If I were to tell you those 3 names are correct, but the issue is the order in which they are written down.
So, I missed last week.
Okay.
I did not perform well enough
Okay.
this week to have the number 1 spot.
Okay. Which means you're
I'm
what,
going to
2
drop
or 3?
myself down to 3.
Okay.
Nicholas.
So humble.
Roz takes to 1.
Okay.
What do you think, Sean?
I concur.
Did you guys look at my paper?
No.
No, I can't even read your handwriting.
Well, the algorithm believes exactly what you guys spoke.
Okay.
So as it turns out, Mr. Nate has dropped from the throne 2 spots. Your synopsis was perfect. The thing is, Roz did not play well this week. He played well enough to stay up in the top 3 these past 3-4 weeks. However, Nicholas Dolnacek was making a huge push these last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Trouble for him was prior to those last few weeks, he was not. He was very Dolnacek-esque, right? While Roz was just keeping it steady.
That's a word
Right.
now. We got to start using
Dolnacek-esque.
Dolnacek-esque.
You guys got me.
It
So-
means this.
That's right. Everyone knows what this means.
So does that mean that when the plaque is up there next to Nate, is there an asterisk?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Nate
Just
is the points
All right.
winner.
Yeah.
Full stop. Roz
Full stop.
is the champion of the power rankings. Mind you, if we went one more week and Roz didn't perform, you better believe Nicholas was stepping up.
Okay.
But Roz did enough
Sure.
to hold that, and Nicholas just did not do enough to take it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
This again, this is all
That's
my
fair.
my expectation
You know.
from how the algorithm works and my study.
I've become very trustworthy of the algorithm.
Yeah, it's right.
just it sees so far into the future I can't comprehend.
It's just one of those
It's
things.
just one of those things.
I mean, I didn't even show up, and it's correct. So it's just, that's how it is.
That's good.
100%. So
Well done, gentlemen. Top 3, top 5, top 10, top 20.
yep, that was fun.
Good try. Way to.
I want some in.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Well, this is for those of us who didn't quite make it on.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
It happens.
So next week,
What's going on next week?
we will be at Firefighters.
For
The
what?
big skins match.
Yes.
There's probably a lot of questions, but I feel like we've kind of
You've excited the people.
we've excited everyone, but we need to be a little more detailed on what's
Okay.
actually going to transpire.
All right.
And so at league today, I took a rough vote. It wasn't very calculated, but it was
Sure.
a vote.
Okay.
We are not going to do food. We're going to push the food money into the pot.
Perfect.
All in.
So
More skins or more skins coin.
Yep.
Excellent.
And then I touched on it at league. Bring cash. We need
And how much cash?
preferably in $5 bills. So it's
ones.
$5 for entry. If you have at least 5 league nights. And then if you don't have 5 league nights, you have to cover the cost, which it's going to sound really confusing. Bear with me. Every league night you missed under 5 weeks is $2. And so if you came to 3 league nights, you owe $4 on top of the $5 entry fee for the skins match. So that's $9.
So it's basically similar to if you hit an ace on your first week there. You're covering some additional money for those of us who have come on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
And so, so we're going to go into a little bit more of a detail on how skins work. So what's going to happen is once we figure out who's there and who's playing, we are going to establish pools, pools of 8. We're going to have 8 cards. You're going to draw who is in your card. And so this probably puts you to sleep.
Within your
Talking.
pool.
But you're going to draw who's on your card within that 8 group. We'll create, a couple groups of 8. Establish who your card is. Once you have your card, we'll hand you an envelope. It's going to likely have $90 in it.
Or
Give
whatever,
or take, whatever we decide is the number.
depending on the money.
And then you're going to hand out the money as you go, which is kind of exciting. And that's, that's the responsibility of your card.
Correct.
And so we want to emphasize that.
You could even split it with the 4 of you, which is kind of weak,
That is weak.
but you could. No, we're not here to
Tell you
we're
how to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're here to play some frisbees.
So just to confirm, whether it's OTB skins or if you played skins in ball golf before, so there's 4 people on a card, and to win that skin, you have to be the only person to get a birdie or an ace or a par if it's a really hard hole, for instance.
You have to do better than
Everyone else, exactly. So one person has to beat the other 3, and if you don't, if it's a push, whether it's all 4 get a par, for instance, or just 2 people, it's a push, and that carries on to the next hole, and then there is now $10 on the line, and then 50.
Because it'll be worth 2 skins.
Yes.
And if each skin equals $5, that's where the 10 comes from.
Yep.
So if it's a push on hole 1 because the best score is a 3 and 2 people got a 3, 2 skins are available for hole 2. So it could turn into you're on hole 5 and you guys have pushed hole 1, 2, 3, and 4, meaning hole 5 is worth 5 skins, which 5 times 5, you guys can do the math. Now you're handing out $25 to one person who has won a skin. So it's, if everybody else pushes and you throw that amazing shot and drop into 2 and everyone chokes and it's worth 7 skins.
Awesome.
Yeah, baby.
And I would say probably to have, I think trash talk is healthy
100%.
on the card. But one thing you don't want to do is if I'm stepping up for a putt and then you brought, the blowhorn right before I'm let's not do that. But trash talk.
Let's keep it clean out there.
Yeah. Above the belt. So.
Yeah, above the belt, Nolan.
Yeah. And so I just want to, So I think we established if there's any questions on skins,
Ask,
someone.
please.
Likely, we'll be able to help you out.
Absolutely.
100% full stop, right?
Where are we playing? Oh, yeah, full stop.
I like that phrase.
That everyone knows. Okay, it's a different idea. You're right. Okay.
So we're playing on Firefighters.
What time?
Are going to try and tee off at 6.
Okay.
We're
Firefighters
going to
is 6.
establish pools, and everyone's going to establish pools around 5:45.
Okay.
And so come before that.
If you're going to be late, please post.
Yeah, let us know. We'll try to
be on
accommodate people. Like I said, bring cash.
Mhm.
There will be no food, but bring food and eat food there. And I think a lot of people will end up doing that, honestly.
Yeah.
Cash in the form of coins is less desirable.
Dollar bills.
Dollar bills.
I'm not saying don't
bring
but
coins.
If you bring coins, I'm going to put coins in your bag.
If someone brings a bag of nickels, we will be upset.
Steve's gonna do that.
100%. 100%. He's going to bring pennies because it's going to be hilarious. Here's 500 pennies, guys. Way to go. Come on, Steve.
Come on, Steve.
Come on,
every
man.
time.
Every time.
He does this every year.
This guy.
Dang it. So did we cover everything with skins? Is there anything?
I think we covered it very well. We're doing it as fair as we can because anytime money's involved, we just want to make sure everyone understands exactly where the money's going.
Yeah.
We may keep a little bit if we can go 90 for every group. We may keep some and put that toward the ACE fund for our springtime league or our birdie fund for the springtime league. We may keep a little bit as a league to, furnish cool trophies, to do different things for everybody, but it's not like we're walking away saying, "Oh yeah, I'm rich."
I don't think anyone thought that, but I
Just
like
to
how we're
make sure.
clearing this up.
We want to make sure we are putting it back into the league because it's for all of us.
Yeah, if there becomes an odd number, we'll push it to the next ACE birdie fund, whatnot.
That's good.
Likely. So, I think we covered everything.
Mhm.
If you have any questions, we're gonna go back over everything
Day
the night
of.
of the skins
Yeah.
match. So we'll hopefully clear everything up there.
Yeah.
We'll probably still get the same questions. Totally.
That's
okay.
okay. Yeah.
Ask
Ask
if
if
she
you-
goes.
And it's better if you have the questions now, post them in Discord, and we can respond to them. That way it's all there in writing and everybody understands.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's no stupid questions. There's just stupid
Oh.
people. So just make sure that you put them in the comments when you do have those questions.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Thank you for that.
I like how you incentivize
It's
questions.
excellent. It's excellent.
That's cool. Next, we have I just want to touch on it again,
Mhm.
just because we can. We have the Houghton Lake Classic coming up September 23rd.
Heard about that.
It's going to be super fun.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You should
super
come.
fun. You should come.
Do it.
Is there any? Do we want to do any predictions for the skins match?
Holy smokes! I'm gonna walk away with 12.
$12.
I'm gonna walk
No,
away with
no,
a
12
goose egg because I will not be there. So I don't think. I think that's
RIP.
tough because we don't know about pools and
What a noob!
makes it tough.
It does. I still plan on taking 12 skins.
So, I mean,
I plan on taking.
so who do we taking this many skins?
I don't get it. It's a funny joke.
So who do we think's gonna dominate in their pool? Do we got any dark horse picks?
just told
any
you.
sleeper picks?
I'm walking away with 12.
Okay. All right.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's a tough one.
I'm gonna go with Zachariah Pesta
Oh,
You think
okay.
it's gonna be low?
or
Okay.
Andrew. No. Sorry. How about Rick Trenda?
Ooh, so that was going to be my pick.
Well, it was mine.
I think if Zeke shows up, I think Zeke's gonna do something special on some of the longer and tougher holes that
Okay.
just normal humans can't do.
Mm,
And so, but that's my dark horse pick.
it's a good pick.
I think he'll do well.
All right.
Put him around a bunch of, not far throwers like me. But Firefighters is very attackable, so.
There are birdie holes out there, and then there are very difficult
Yeah.
birdie holes out there.
Yeah.
Like hole 4, that's crazy talk.
Crazy talk. Okay. Any last things before we start to close out the podcast? Did I miss anything?
We will have one more podcast to discuss what happens at the at the skins match next week. And then we will also talk about what we're going to do for the fall. And then in the wintertime, just kind of lay out the plan so everybody knows. Because we're going to still be throwing the Frisbees most of us will still be throwing Frisbees in the wintertime.
Yeah.
There are a few...
hibernators.
Yeah, I was going to use a less flattering word.
Noobs.
That choose to not. And Nick will tell you, I call him out. Nick will tell you he had one pretty rough experience when he played in a tournament at Bryce. It did Behemoth Bryce, and it was raining / snowing consistent, and it was about 33 degrees.
You mean when I had my 6-year-old there and we were fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the exact same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it really kind of, that hurt him.
He was my partner too.
That hurt him inside.
And so I
Yeah.
feel like I had to, never mind. I think we're done, right?
We're done.
All right, that's
It
fine.
feels right.
We'll be done.
We'll be done. All right. Well, thanks for watching. It was awesome. We're 20 episodes in, so thanks for watching this far into our series of podcasts, what have you. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below your thoughts on everything that transpired over the podcast.
One last thing.
Yeah.
Thank you all for hanging out with us for 2 seasons now.
2 seasons.
2 seasons, spring season, fall season.
Can you
And-
believe? I feel like it was just yesterday. We were starting the spring
I know,
season. We're
I
getting
know.
going.
I know,
It's
right?
warming
Super
up.
excited. Now,
And
it's going to hit the fall, and then it's going to get chilly, and then I got to wear 2 layers and 3 layers and 4 layers, and because
Yeah.
I'm going to play.
yeah.
Obviously.
Hey.
Fall's life.
Nice job, team.
Yeah.
Congrats,
go.
Nate.
Way to go.
Yeah, I
Nate.
did it. Shake
It's
hands.
official.
Shake your hand.
Very
Oh, yeah,
fun.
all right, yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Thanks,
Damn, it
everyone.
hurt me
Cool.
a little bit.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. It was a pleasure. Thanks for sticking with us. Peace.
Peace.